Hello friends, for today's project I'm going to be using 3 rolls of poly burlap, one in white, one in red, and one in blue. I'm also going to be using wire cutters, a rotary cutter, needle nose pliers, and scissors. I have some 6-inch zip ties I'm going to be using. These are called hair elastics. You can find these at the Dollar Tree. You absolutely don't have to use these. I kept my mesh with a wood burner. If you do not have a wood burner or you're not comfortable using one, you can use scissors or a rotary cutter. Each of our mesh is going to be cut into 10-inch strips. The red, the white, and the blue. So let's get started. I'm going to be using a wood burner and a cutting board, a glass cutting board. You do not have to use the glass cutting board. You can just use a rotary cutter and cut whatever mesh that you're going to be using for this. I'm also going to have a Dollar Tree cross frame. I have painted mine white. As you can see, there's white paint all over the tag. So yes, this is the cross frame. Now the way that I cut my poly burlap, I have a cutting board here and it's got marks 10 inches apart on my cutting board. Or I could just simply cut using my mat and I wouldn't necessarily have to have the marks on it. Okay, I'm going to be using a wood burner for this project. You do not have to. You can use scissors. And I just take the wood burner and go down the side of the or go between the lines on the poly burlap. And you have a 10-inch piece, 10-inch square. Do one more. You're going to do this with each roll of mesh, each color. I would just start out with about 10 pieces of each. 10 pieces of each color. And I just simply go in between the lines all the way down. This is how I cut my mesh. You can cut yours with scissors or a rotary cutter if you don't have or you're not comfortable using a wood burner. Okay, to make the petal, just put your square of poly burlap in front of you. Turn the finished side to your upper right. What you're going to do is you're just going to start at one corner and curl. And you're just going to curl until you get to the other corner. Bend it. When it's like this, this is what it's going to look like. Flip it up. Kind of want to make sure that your pieces right here are about the same. If they're a little off, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can either take your petal, slip it into the zip tie that's going to already be on the cross frame. Or if you want to do it like I do it, take a rubber band. And just tie up the end. This is one half of a petal. Let's make the other half. Okay, friends, so we have this one complete. You just bend it over and put a hair elastic around the top. You could also put a zip tie around the top. For the next one, finished edge at the top and the bottom. I always turn mine to the right. Start down the corner and just roll it up till you get to the other corner. Pull it together. Now we're just going to bend it so that it's like this. Take another hair elastic and put it around. Now this is the other half of our petal. Both of these together is going to make one petal. You could take these and slip them inside of the zip tie that's already going to be on there. But what I have found is that this bulky end needs to be cut down a bit. I've got my little trash can up here. What I do is just cut the end right here, my scissors, so that you're cutting each petal apart. And you can do this before you join them together. It doesn't really matter. And then I'm just going to trim this down a bit into my trash can. Or all over the table. Oh well, this is going to be a messy, messy project. And then you end up with this. And the flatter you can get this piece here, the easier it's going to be to go up underneath your zip tie and pull it straight. So there's the white one. Okay, moving on to the red. Manufactured side to the upper right. Start in this corner. And roll your way up. If you just start rolling from the corner, you'll automatically end up at the other corner. Catty corner to it. And I just bend them together like this. And put them together. Again, you can go ahead and cut them off on the top before you join your two petals together. Like so. Then put them together. You don't have to add another tie. You can just slip these right into the zip tie on the cross. I just like to make my petals up ahead of time and then put them together. So here's the red one and the white one. And for the blue one, it's going to be a bit different. Of course, we're going to have some that have two blue pieces of mesh. And then some that's going to have one blue and one red or one white. So here we have one blue. Along with one white. This petal is going to be two different colors because it's going to go at the top of the cross where the blue is to the left and the white and the red are to the right. The red and white stripes. So I take this one, roll it up. Okay, now I'm going to start putting things together. And again, cut down these little nubs right here if you choose to. So let's get going and I'll show you what we're going to do. Here's our Dollar Tree cross frame. I'm going to go ahead and cut the tag off of it. I've painted mine white. That's why my tag is white. Okay, you guys, I'm going to start putting my zip ties. I'm using 6-inch zip ties. I'm going to start adding these to the wreath frame. I'm going to put about 5 up here at the top. Okay, so we always have to start. Here's our beginning. I'm going to start with red and blue up here. We're going to put the red and blue inside here. And you just pull it and tighten it up. I like to use my needle nose pliers when I do this. Making sure it's on there, tight. Tighten that a bit more. And then you just go back and cut this off. Now we're going to move on to the blue and white. Now remember, our flag, the blue part's over to the left. Hopefully it's showing up as your left. It may be turned around in the camera. Bring the other zip tie down. Put the blue and white in it. Try to get as close to that first one as you possibly can. And tighten it up. So see, we're doing blue on this side, red and white on this side. So we're moving on. We need a blue and a red. And this is the first time that I've made a cross like this, you guys. I've made many of crosses on yardsticks, paint sticks, but I've never made an American flag on the actual cross wreath frame. The next one is going to be blue and white. And I need to add a couple more zip ties. Just working on the 2 center bars. Blue and white is next. Get it right up underneath that previous petal. And pull it tight. It off. Not sure which ones I want to end with. So now I'm going to start working on the bottom of the cross. Now the bottom of the cross is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be red, white, alternating back and forth. So I'm going to get some zip ties on here. I'm thinking 3 petals per section, but I'm not actually positive. I don't know if you'd actually call this a petal. I call it a spiral. The spiral method. So I'm going to start out with 3 right here. And we'll start going. So I started with red up there. I think I'm going to start with red down here. Take it to the very end of the cross. put your petal up underneath there. Bring it around. And tighten it up. This really helps with elongating the cross, especially on the crossbar here and here, because when they made this cross frame, I don't know why they didn't make the crossbar longer so that it would be proportionate, so it would be in the same proportion as a regular cross. But here we are, and this is what we're working with. Cut this off. I'm going to move on to a white petal. Oh, we may have 4 per section. Not positive yet. Just have to see. Tighten it up, and you want to slide it down to where it's right on top of your previous petal. And cut it off. Back to the red. Up underneath the zip tie. Slip it on. Okay, now we're going to take the red one and go up underneath the zip tie again, as well as the other ones. And pull it tight. So we're going to do red and white all the way up to the crossbar, and I'll show you what we're going to do when we get up there. Back to the white. I'm going to add 3 more zip ties. And of course, I'll give you guys the total petal count of every petal, color, and position that it goes into when I get done, because I don't really know until I finish. I have had a couple of orders for these for Memorial Day. And this is the first one that I'm actually doing. Figured I'd test it out with a video. Okay, now we're going to go back to the white. Bring our zip tie down. Put it up underneath there. Pushing it down as close to that previous petal as possible. Back to the red. Get one that's already cut off the bottom. Back to the red. Tighten it up. Get the red one up underneath there. Pull up on it. And there goes my dog. To the white. Need some more zip ties. Try to put one right here, I think. Right here. And then I'm going to put 4 on this section. Pulling it up. We still have this one to complete. To the red. Put the last red one in this section. And pull up on it. Now, of course, the white. Okay, to the red. That's a little tight in there. I'm going to try it though. There we go. Push it down again, as close as you can get it to that previous petal. Okay, friends, since it stopped on red down here, I think I need to go ahead and add a blue and a red right here. So that's what I'm going to do. Because this needs to come down a bit farther towards the crossbar. Just turn it around. And tighten it up. And yes, I did get a little nick on my finger. Not sure how. Leave it to me to cut my finger while making a wreath. Whoa. Yep, that one's tight. Okay, now I'm going to move this cross around a bit and we're going to get started on the crossbar. Okay, you guys, I've loaded 5 more zip ties onto my right side of the crossbar. So we're just going to do white and red and white all the way across this one. So you guys probably get the gist of what I'm doing now. So I'm just going to tighten that up. Where'd my needle nose? Oh, here they are. Pull it tight. And cut it off. Again, you're wanting to get your petals right up underneath the newest one that you put on. So this is going to be our 3rd petal right here. We may only need 4 petals. Not quite sure yet. Tighten this one up. Push it down. Okay, now we're going to the red. We may not even need that 5th one. Let's see where this one takes us. Underneath. If you put it in there with your zip tie turned where the lock's facing you, that makes things a lot easier. Like that time I did not have the zip tie towards me. I have one more. I think I'm going to go ahead and stick a white in here. I want all this to be as small as possible for a bow. And we'll end on a white before getting started with the other side of the crossbar. Now the other side of the crossbar is going to be all blue. There, that looks good. Everything's on here super tight. It's not going anywhere. Okay, now we're going to start on this side of the crossbar. These are going to be all blue. Start out by putting 5 zip ties on the crossbar. It's just a lot easier if you already have these on here. And I guess you guys could use pipe cleaners as well. You'd want to tie the pipe cleaner together in the back of the cross instead of on the top. I've never done it that way, but I don't see why you couldn't. Okay, I have the 5 on. And we're going to start working on the blue. So over here, all the way down to the end of the bar, just like we did over there on that side. Keep setting my needle nose pliers down, and I do not know where they're at. Here they are. Then you're just going to tighten it up. Whoa. The next one, all these are going to be blue. Moving right along. Okay, I'm going to put 3 more blue petals all the way up to the center. Now I'm going to lay our final blue down in here. As tight as you can down in there. And tighten it up. And cut that off. Okay, friends, we have completed the cross. All blue over here, red and white here. And I showed you how to do the top and the bottom. So now I'm going to turn it over and we're going to put a hanger on it. So, here we go. I'm just going to be using a zip tie up here. I'm just going to put it through the very top and pull it, fasten it. Cut this off and turn this around. And there you go. There's the hanger for the wreath. Back looks all nice and neat. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Excuse me. Now we are going to add the bow. I pre-made the bow for this wreath. And I'm going to put it here. Turn it over. And I'm not wrapping around these big bars right here. I'm not wrapping around the outside bars. I'm only wrapping it around the inside bar. I'm not going to put it on here permanently until I see where I want it. I think it turned out very, very cute. I'm going to be adding stars over to the white. I'm going to be adding stars to the blue part of the wreath. I really like this bow right here. I think it looks super cute. Now let's get started on adding some stars. These are adhesive stars. I'm just going to place them. I don't think I can get 50 stars on here. So we're just going to go with what I have. And I will put all the stars that I want to on the blue spiral petals. So I'm going to finish up adding stars. I'm going to hang this up and get some good pictures of it. If you guys like this kind of video, please like and subscribe. I'm almost to 11,000 subscribers. And leave me a comment, just your name, where you're from, in the description box below. If you go down there and you hit more, it'll give you the option to read everything that's on this cross. How many petals of each color. And we will go from here. Thank you so much for watching my video. Can't wait to see you next time. Thank you.